What to do if you live with a retarded, abusive family. This can be by far one of the most difficult things in life to deal with because family truly is everything. You know, the better family you come from, the easier your life is. Some people are born with inheritances and they're born with mansions and nice cars and their parents feed them organic food growing up. Other people are born into an environment where they're like I was, where they're abused, where they're starved, literally. Your parents don't even buy you enough food. Meanwhile, my parents made decent money. My mom was a nurse and my dad was an engineer. So they'd go out to eat with their friends and they'd spend money on themselves. They'd buy themselves nice cars. I didn't come from a poor family. They'd buy themselves nice houses. They just wouldn't give any of the money to their kids because, oh, you're just a selfish brat. You're spoiled. All you ask for is organic fruits and vegetables. Too expensive. Meanwhile, they go out to eat at a fine dining restaurant. It costs them like $100 to pay for their Tinder date that night because my parents got divorced at a young age. So they were always trying to date other people. That cost a lot of money. They were always trying to buy nice houses and cars to impress other people. That cost a lot of money. They were always spending money on going out to eat. They were always spending money going out to events to meet new people. But there was never any money left over for their own children. Half of the time, I would be left home alone and there would be no food in the pantry. I was only 100 pounds when I was 18 during prom, and I was hospitalized because they almost had to cut out my colon and put me in a one of those bags that you poop in, like a velostomy bag or whatever you call it, because my colon almost had to be cut out because it almost died due to malnourishment. It almost, the food wasn't moving through my colon properly because I wasn't getting enough nutrients to help digest things properly. So like enough fresh juices. I asked for a juicer at a young age. They said no. And they always had plenty of money. They just never wanted to spend it on me. And that's the thing is, like, your parents, they may have a lot of money, but that doesn't mean you are going to reap the benefit of coming from a family with a lot of money. Because sometimes the parents will spend the money on themselves, but they won't even feed their own kids. Like, I was left at home without food half of the time, and they would just go out to eat. And so when you come from an abusive, neglectful family, you know, you're constantly being screamed at for things you didn't even do. I was getting better grades than most children. I was in college classes in high school. I was put in AP and advanced classes because I scored better on tests than most children. And I was like a straight edge kid. Like, I never did anything wrong, but one time I wanted to go to a high school party. Now, this wasn't just some random party. This was actually, I was in cross country, which for those of you that don't know what cross country is, it's a sport where you run. You run like miles and miles and miles. And whatever team wins the race wins the race. That's what cross country is. I wasn't going to any random party. I wanted to go to the cross country team party, literally the one that the coaches set up and everything. It was like an official school party. Guess what happened? My sister lied to my mom and said I was just there to do drugs, and then my mom didn't let me go to the party. So I never had a social life growing up. My sister was allowed to date any guy she wanted, but one time I tried getting a girlfriend. My sister lied to my mom and told my mom I got the girl pregnant, even though that never happened. My sister lied to my mom and told my mom that the girl I was dating was like the school whore and she was fucking all these dudes, which that wasn't true. My sister literally, I never did this to my sister. My sister was allowed to date any guy she wanted, but the minute I get a girlfriend, my sister lies to my mom and my mom says, no, you can't date her. Meanwhile, this girl and her family actually had a Green Star juicer and they were making me green juice. They were literally feeding me foods that my family wasn't, that I wanted at the time. So they were actually trying to take care of me, someone else's random family. Meanwhile, my own blood family wasn't. And that's the thing is, you know, my dad beat me for every little thing. One time I told my dad I had a headache, and he started punching me in the head. Do you still have a headache now? Bang! And then I start crying even louder, like, oh, that hurts. And he's like, oh, it hurts. Does it hurt more now? Bang! Wah! I'm crying even louder. I'm like, Dad, that hurts. He's like, oh, you think that hurts? I'll give you something to really cry about. Bang! He literally punched me in the head. I felt my brain clunking against my skull. I might have gotten a concussion or 2 or 3. And these are just examples, guys. My mom made me get rid of my car. I'm not joking, because, we have too many cars parked at where we live. We can't have that many cars parked here. My mom made me get rid of one of my only cars. And then my other car started having issues right after I got rid of my old one. So it's like my mom made me get rid of one of the only 2 cars I had at the time. And then right after I got rid of it, my other car broke down. So then I was left with no car. Because, we have too many cars parked in the house. It's like always just making up these random rules about things that don't help anyone progress in life. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to do better for myself. I'm trying to eat healthier. They wouldn't even buy me the right foods growing up because, it's too expensive. Just eat what's at the house. There's nothing at the fucking house. You're going out to eat with a new man every other week, and you're leaving me home alone with no food in the pantry. Just eat what's at the house. There's nothing but Cheerios at the fucking house. I'm asking you for grapes. I'm asking you for avocados. I'm asking you for things that are healthy, and you're saying no half of the time and starving me to death. It was always and then every time I'd bring up actual problems that actually mattered, like food, money, what car am I going to drive, that type of stuff, it was always, that doesn't matter. You just stop stressing me out. I need time to relax. You know what I mean? But anytime they would bring up some stupid bullshit that has nothing to do with nothing, like, you got to get rid of that car. Why? Because there's too many parked. But there's room for all of them. What do you mean by there's too many parked? There was plenty of room. There was plenty of parking spaces where we live. There was tons and tons and tons of space to park. What do you mean there's no room? There's tons of room. There's no room. You got to get rid of it. But how does that benefit anyone? That's one less car for the family to drive in case someone gets into an accident. My mom literally forced me to get rid of my own car because there wasn't enough room. And when I told her we shouldn't do that, she threatened to kick me out and leave me homeless. I have multiple life-threatening chronic diseases from being starved and beaten growing up. My body couldn't handle all the stress. And because I have multiple life-threatening chronic diseases, if my mom kicks me out, I'll probably end up dead, guys. I can't just buy a new place to live. All my money is going to medicine to treat my condition. I have Lyme's, I have Crohn's, I have sepsis. The amount of money it takes to pay for the proper medication, which I could die without to treat my lifelong chronic diseases, is astronomical amount of money I'm spending. So she knows I don't have enough money for rent. But she threatened to kick me out if I didn't get rid of my car. And so I had to get rid of my fucking car. And that's the thing is, when enough things happen, eventually you realize what's going on. You're being abused. When I was younger, I didn't see it for what it was because I wanted to hold on to the idea that I had a family. But eventually holding on to that idea got more painful than just accepting reality for what it is. Eventually, holding on to the idea that they were my family caused me so much pain, so much suffering, so much abuse, so much trauma, so much turmoil, that eventually simply just accepting the fact that I truly am being abused was easy to accept because it felt less painful than ignoring the reality. And once you get to that point is when everything changes, because once you realize what's actually happening to you, you can start to find ways to defend yourself. But as long as you keep telling yourself the lie of, they're my family, they love me, you're not going to be able to defend yourself. You're going to have your guard down. You should never have your guard down around someone that's abusing you. It doesn't matter if they're your mom. It doesn't matter if they're your sister. It doesn't matter if they're your brother. It doesn't matter if they're your father. You have to have your guard up at all times, and you have to defend yourself against their attacks at all times. And the minute you pretend like they're your friend and not your enemy is the minute you get blindsided. One of my family members tried to steal my car one time. I let one of my family members borrow my car, and he almost tried to get it registered in his name. I had to drive over to his house and literally take the car without even telling him I was going to his house, because if I didn't drive it back and get it registered in my name before he registered it, I would have legally lost the car. He almost legally stole it from me. He almost got it registered to DMV and everything, so I wouldn't have been able to drive it. Why? All because I just let him borrow it. I dropped it off at his house and said, hey, if your truck's having issues, you can drive this for now until you figure things out with your car, and then just give it back to me once you don't need it anymore. He was about to steal it from me. He was going to get it registered in his name and everything, so it would have been impossible for me to get it back. I had to go there without him even knowing and drive it back. So that's the thing, is when you don't accept it for what it is, if someone's abusing you, they're your enemy. It doesn't matter if they share your same blood. It doesn't matter if they share your same ancestors. It doesn't matter if they share your same DNA. And when you ignore reality, you put yourself in a vulnerable position to be attacked. But when you accept reality for what it is, you can start putting defenses up to try to mitigate the damage and the harm. Okay? I hope this helps. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to end it here because I could literally talk about this topic all day and all night. And I could go on and on and on forever about this topic. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Let me know what you guys want to see more of on this channel. I love you guys. And until next one, I'm out. Love and peace.